afternoon and evening, I got the run painted. I was originally just going to paint the outside, but then Chris said because of weather conditions and for the protection of the wood, that it should probably do the inside too. So that's what I did this evening. So the run walls and sides are done. I do have to do some more touch up to the hardware cloth, but I'm gonna wait and do that last, because I do want to do, I already took 2 gallons of paint for what I've painted so far. Obviously, I'm still gonna have this door to paint. Still have a couple of touch-ups to do, so I'll probably just buy another gallon. Gonna need to do another coat on a couple of spots here on this run. But now at least we're ready to put the roof on next week. We did the calculations for the roofing material. Need to get a couple of more pieces of OSB. As I mentioned before, I'm not particularly happy with the plans that we purchased because they are not that accurate, and even the material list is proving to not be particularly accurate. The wood material for the door of the run, not included in the materials list. The nesting box that I got primarily built today. The siding, not included in the material list. And yeah, so I do plan to write a pretty good review. Well, I don't know how good it'll be. A pretty thorough review of these plans that I purchased once we're complete. Because I may have mentioned already, it's posted as being beginner to intermediate. There's no way this is a beginner-friendly project. I created this goat shed from a 15-minute video I saw on YouTube and had 0 problems. Whereas this one that came with plans and material list, really not that great. So I'll do an update about that at some point here once we get finished. Assuming we ever get finished. This feels like I'm building a whole house. Got the nesting box all framed out. Put a piece of the linoleum that I'm going to use for the floor on the floor of the nesting box, just to make that for easier cleanup. Got 2 of the window frames done. Just didn't feel like carrying the air compressor and nail gun over to the coop tonight, so save that for another day. These will be the doors to flip down on the front of this nesting box. But the sides and the front, I need another piece of the siding, which was not in the materials list, so I have to go purchase one of those to frame this out. The directions call to do it with plywood. I don't know why you would do that when the rest of it is with this siding. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to price them out. Maybe it's cheaper, whatever. It's gonna be white. It's on the back side, doesn't matter that much. I did get a couple of the doors painted so that maybe we can get those hung this week. So this will be the door to the coop. And then for the window boxes, I have to make a couple little touch-ups on these. I'm gonna try to paint the last two and clean up all my paint stuff. As per the usual, trying to work and outlast or outwait a storm. Keep working till it gets here. Maybe that's the weather that's coming. Hopefully that's going north. Put the dogs inside just to make sure. We got the center beam of the coop roof up. Got all of the gables cut, and that's what we're going to try to get up here shortly. Maybe we can get it done before the storm comes up. Goats are still outside. Usually they're a pretty good indicator. They run in their house right before it starts raining, but they're still outside. Take two. Yesterday, we ended up having to close up shop and take shelter because a massive thunderstorm with hail and strong winds came in, so we did not accomplish what we had hoped. So today's goal is to get the roof on this run.
You can hear us over Rip barking at nothing out there. So we got the rafters, joists, I don't know, framing, most of the framing of the roof for the run done today. And now we need to do the cross braces between the joists.
Ceiling joists, they're called on the plans.
Okay. I don't really know what the difference between rafters and joists is, but whatever. Right, so this just goes between them to stiffen them up. But they need to be cut at a sharper angle than a miter saw, which you can't see because I'm facing the wrong way. So we have to get creative. So I might have gone over this last year when we were building the shed as I figured this out, but we'll go over it again. So your miter saw, my miter saw, I think all miter saws, right? And cut up to 45 degrees, or actually like 48 degrees in my case, on either direction. But we need these cross bases to be cut at a 67-degree angle, which natively is not possible on the miter saw. So I had to do this last year for a different angle, but more than 45. So I went on YouTube and found somebody who explained that if you make a jig like this, basically cut two blocks at 45-degree angles and put them together like this, then you can take the piece that you want to cut and slide it in this way, right? So then if you cut straight, that's going to give you a 45-degree angle. And then if you move, right, so if that's giving you 45 and what you need is 67, right? So I need 22 degrees. So if I move to 22 degrees this way, right, with this in here, like so, that should give me a 67-degree angle. So we'll see. This is not a sliding miter saw, so hopefully we got enough blade to get through here, although I'm suspicious as to whether we will or not, but we'll see. So you can see we didn't have quite enough blade to get the whole way through, but got most of the way through, so we'll get this far, and then we'll get the left this far. So close. Just using the jigsaw to cut through the last little bit that I couldn't get through with the miter saw.
need to make a comedic roll of all the times I've videoed my face.
Kim's a little cranky because it's now the next day. She's in the middle of cutting the sheathing for the roof, the last few pieces, hoping to get enough patched out of the remnants of the pieces we have so that we don't have to go buy more. And this is coming from the west, looking not nearly as ominous as yesterday, but still like we would have to go inside. So she's getting cranky. Rip has also noticed the coming storm and is also agitated about it and letting it know how he feels. All right, so I'm sitting on the roof of the chicken coop run, waiting to put one last piece on here. Just a little piece we need because, again, we got a bunch of little pieces at the top here because we didn't have any full sheets left and didn't want to go to the store and get them, so we're trying to make it work out of scraps that we had laying around. And it's going to have a metal roof on it eventually, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect, the sheathing, because it doesn't technically even need it. Kim just wanted to put it on to be extra insulated and whatever, protected from the wind. So got that one last piece. She's been working on some trim for the doors and the windows, but she's off to cut the last piece. So I'm sitting up here waiting. But here's a nice view the opposite way of what we usually show, because we're usually looking west, showing the sunset or the storm coming or something or other. So this is looking east. So not a whole lot over there. There's a couple, it's really small. Some houses like almost 2 miles over there. A couple of those being built or some people living in their RVs and building garages and stuff like that. About a mile away, I guess. But that's what it looks like looking east. So that's towards Nebraska, generally. It's getting around an hour and a half till sunset, I guess. Rips here keeping watch, making sure nobody sneaks up and attacks me while I'm on the roof, I guess. Barking at some dogs down the road that are barking. Teddy was chasing one of the roosters, so she's locked up in the fence, so she's kind of butthurt because that's not what she usually gets treated like, so she's very offended that she's put in there. But one of the roosters was getting bullied by all the other ones, so he had to be let out of the run, and he's kind of free-ranging, and she decided it would be fun to chase him around. So she chased him across the lot, and then he almost got eaten by a couple hawks, so I had to rescue him and bring him back and put him back in the other Chicken Coop 1.0. So now we got chickens in Chicken Coop 2.1 and in 1.0. And we're getting ready to put some in 3.0 pretty soon. Hopefully today we're going to have the roof sheathing done and the doors and window coverings on. And then, well, on the coop, not on the, still need to build a door for the run. Getting close. All right, so here we are now with the sheathing completed on the roof of, well, the coop was done. The roof of the run is now done. So we have some of the metal, but need to get some more. So not sure when we'll get to doing that. But Kim wants to put the chickens in here before we get that completed. So gonna be finishing up the other stuff to allow them to live in here before we start working on the metal roof.
Things are slowly coming together. I got the inside windows, vent windows, covered with the hardware cloth. I attached each of them with 8 screws and washers. They will also have a door on the outside, but I've had these screens cut for about a month now, and finally got everything painted, got the doors measured to put on top of them in the outside. So was finally able to get them off the floor and onto the coop. Making progress. Next step is going to be to cover these holes into the coop with hardware cloth. I am not going to paint it. I am merely going to take it from joist to joist and secure again with the screw and washers, and prevent any predators from coming from the outside. Here's what it looks like from the outside. Just like I did on the coop run, I did paint these black. So now I just got to get the doors on and the nesting box and the actual door, and the coop will be about done, minus the roof. While we are getting ever closer to the big coop being done, we're having some drama in this, what I keep calling temporary, although it's been for a long time. We had to create this coop for these 3, mostly because the guy that's in the house was getting bullied, and they had him to the point that he was all bloody on his neck and was in really bad shape. So we took him out yesterday and let him free range a little bit, let him sleep in this coop. Today we let him free range a little bit, and he was making himself at home in these flowers, which are the only flowers that until today had survived the hail, but they did not survive him. So all my flowers are in a sorry state. So we put him in there, and then Teddy decided that she was going to chase him, and so he made it the whole way to the property line where the horses are, and then the hawks came out. And he did hunker down and make himself kind of small into the ground, so we were able to get him. And then when we came back, we put this little coop to protect him, or this run that I've tried to jerry-rig together. And we stood here and watched the chickens for a little bit, and then they were ganging up on the white with the brown feathers. And so I pulled this one, which I'm still not convinced if this is a boy or a girl. I'm kind of hoping it's a girl based on those tail feathers. It might be. And Nugget's definitely a girl. So I pulled Nugget and this other one out. And what we think we have discovered is that Comet here, this beautiful black one, seems to be the bully. So once the big coop gets done, I think my plan is to put Coco, who's this beautiful rooster, in with these two girls, and then put the rest of the boys in here, and then put Comet in isolation there. So a lot to keep track of and keep tabs on while we work to finish the big coop.